r/AskReddit, people who liked Elon Musk but no longer do. What was the turning point? The moment he started talking about Ukraine having to submit to Russia and be done with it. Then JT was further amplified by him randomly shutting down Starlink to sabotage Ukrainian military operations out of pettiness. See also, Elon Musk draws rebuke by suggesting Taiwan accept rule by China, link. The dude completely has no sense of empathy. Recently, he even called it a weakness. That's just a downright evil thing to say. Yep, was looking for this one, surprised I had to scroll so far down. My breakpoint was Musk making excuses for Putin in Ukraine. I would be absolutely shocked if Putin didn't have a treasure trove of dirt on Musk. The dude is reckless and an attention whore. I'm sure Putin and his spies have uncovered things that Musk doesn't want public. The cave situation was the first moment I thought he was misguided, but it wasn't until he started aligning with Trump and other authoritarians that he lost my good faith. If your goal is making humanity a multiplanetary species, the cost of Twitter would have bought a lot of spaceship development. The whole timeline of Mars colonization back in the early 2010s was obviously bullshit and was there just to keep fairly dumb science and technology journalists interested while SpaceX rockets were continually exploding, also CONF late space and colony. COVID. The first time I realized there's something wrong with him was when he accused one of the Mindiverse of being a pedophile because he was mad at him. It was all downhill from there. Him saying COVID was trending downwards and would be over by April made me think this guy is worryingly dumb for someone with a platform. This was the turning point for me. COVID really showed us what people are made of, and between his conspiracy nonsense and the way he treated his factory workers, it became clear that his utopian better tomorrow shtick was bullshit. I read his authorized biography about a decade ago. Dude is a complete tool who sees people as a resource for his consumption. I always liked the Terry Pratchett quote, from his character Granny Weatherwax, that the root of evil is treating people as things. I'm not sure he'd fit everyone's definition of evil, but he definitely treats people as things. The man's a poster child for main character syndrome. Stuff such as him saying he'll donate $6 billion to fight world hunger if the charity actually laid out a comprehensive plan to make it work. They did, and then he snuck away, never to mention it again. Weird bloke. Stands for nothing other than his next 100 million. I feel bad for whoever at WFP had to sit down and say, okay, suppose we could write the report good enough to get 1% or more of that money, how much effort should we put into a custom response to this guy? I was indifferent toward him. I respected him for being intelligent and thought Tesla's and the work he was doing with SpaceX was cool. Once he started showing the world his personality is when I realized he was just another immature rich asshole and grifter. Dogecoin pump and dump SNL sketch. Dude fucked over thousands of people. When he started talking. This LOL. I viewed the guy as a real-life Tony Stark until he started talking more. It's a classic case of, it is better to keep silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubts. Not that I think he's a fool, I think he is smart. But he opened his mouth and removed all doubt for me that he's an asshole, and just another shrewd businessman but with businesses more intriguing to younger generations. I was so confused by that reaction that I kept thinking there must be something else we don't know. Now I look back and realize that no, Elon Musk just has the emotional maturity of a child. Two things. One, when he called the cave rescuer a pedophile and doubled down on it, after lying about sending a rescue mini-sub. Two, during the height of COVID, he claimed he was retrofitting his production and said he sent 1,000 ventilators to desperate US hospitals. He actually sent a few useless and cheap outsourced CPAP machines, for sleep apnea. He never did send a single ventilator. There was an episode of, I think, Star Trek Discovery where one character is making an inspiring speech about the history of spaceflight, and he mentions the Wright brothers, Neil Armstrong, Elon Musk, fictional dude who invents the warp engine. Hasn't aged very well. Discovery spoilers, and GT, the person talking positively about Elon Musk is from the mirror universe where everyone is evil. And LT. I watched The Newsroom, HBO, and there is a scene where ACN is looking for buyers, and someone is like, Elon Musk isn't going to buy a media company. The Twitter acquisition. It completely blew up the notion I had of him that he was a great businessman, and after I started seeing him in a different light I realized that he is just a vaporware salesman. He makes bold promises that he never delivers on, and with his turn towards mega views in the last few years has really made me hold him in contempt at this point. When he smoked pot on Rogan despite the fact that he fires Tesla workers that test positive. I liked him when he was pushing hard for electric vehicles and being a mad scientist making flamethrowers and stuff. My turning point was when he became active on Twitter and I saw what his personality was like, LOL. Just a sad man who desperately wants people to love him and think he's funny. I prefer my evil billionaires to not care if I live or die, like Bezos or Zuck. It's kind of funny how Zuck and Bezos are more palatable than Elon, but they really are. The Thai cave, and the Ukraine stuff has enraged me. Can't think of anyone so at the top who ruined their reputation on such dumb topics. Went out and literally sabotaged military operations. He has helped brew up anti-Ukraine rhetoric, and has probably caused the deaths of many. I was not a huge fan of his, but I had no negative feelings about him, either. Then, there was his weird behavior regarding that underwater cave rescue, and he began using his control over Starlink to mess with Ukraine. I don't think he's got both oars in the water. That whole thing with the kids trapped in the cave in Thailand where Musk tried to insert himself as the hero. When the pro-divers actually rescued the kids and nobody took Musk's mini-submarine idea seriously, and then he goes and calls the leader of the rescue team a pedophile, it really revealed a lot about his character to me. He's got an ego the size of the sun, the maturity of a 12-year-old and the self-awareness of a brick. Realizing he's just as much of jerk-off rich bloke as the rest of them. Gestures vaguely. My friend was a huge Elon fanboy until he worked for him. When I discovered he was a Russian mega trader. He turned off Starlink while it was guiding munitions to the Russian Black Sea Fleet from Ukraine. He was watching, he personally took steps to stop a Ukrainian attack on Russia. Made the bombs fall in the water and protected Russia. He is a full hang-em-high traitor to the USA and its allies. Link. The diver incident where he called the dude a pedo even though he was a hero. He just got butthurt because he said Elon's stupid ass little submarine wouldn't work. Had to work with him. He was a complete ass and belittled and cussed out an engineer. Then he stormed off and flipped his smog like an evil villain. Everyone saying the cave thing are probably right, but once he dipped out of the Zuckerberg cage fight I knew he was dogshit. This was my moment as well. Calling someone a pedophile because your butthurt is not okay. I was fairly neutral or indifferent, but the whole Thai cave rescue sub-saga thing was when I started to notice he was a cunt. I remember thinking one of the richest people on the planet can't possibly be that fragile and butthurt just because someone said their idea to rescue those kids wouldn't work. That was only the beginning. Thai cave thing is when it started. But then it continued with each and every time he opened his stupid mouth about stuff he clearly had no idea about. He's not a futurist, he's just another reactionary who wishes he could be a 19th century robber baron. Yeah, for me I had concerns when the cave thing happened, but when he started sharing his thoughts on COVID in 2020, I realized he was a clown. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again, Reddit glitch out.